So, yeah, hi everyone. Today we'll be talking about how to monitor NetApp Trident storage using Red Hat Advanced Cluster Manager observability feature. So basically, let's say a scenario where you have OpenShift virtualization on which you are running your open VMs, virtual machines, and that virtual machine storage provider is NetApp, right? NetApp Trident. And let's say your operation team or developers or system admin, whatever you call it, they want to look into, the NetApp storage volumes, and they want to see like how much is the available storage on the SVM and how much is it utilized, what's the performance of the storage, all those stuffs. So they need to have all those things, right? Those metrics. So those are something which will be, exposed through NetApp Trident, and that will be fetched into Red Hat Advanced Cluster Manager Observability, Grafana, and there you can, view all those stuff. So that's what we'll be implementing here. So that will be a bit easy. Let's say you have a multi-cluster, right? So a lot of cluster, lot of SVMs, NetApp Trident storage, and you need a single pane of glass where you can, visualize all your storage utilization, performance, all those metrics which are, exposed by NetApp Trident, and those things you can view it in your Grafana dashboard, right? So we'll talk about this. So let's say I'll just walk you through this article, and side by side we'll do this live on our cluster. So the architecture is like we have two clusters, OpenShift cluster. One will be the OpenShift managed cluster, as you can see here, right? So there is an OpenShift managed cluster, and then there will be a hub cluster where our ACM is there. ACM means Red Hat Advanced Cluster Manager, right? So basically your Trident, NetApp Trident is installed on your managed cluster here, right? And this is the one which will be exposing all the NetApp related metrics, storage related metrics. So you'll be fetching all those metrics here to your OpenShift Prometheus, right? And since by default OpenShift monitoring only scrap platform metrics and not the user workload metrics, right? So here we consider NetApp Trident as user workload because that's something you have installed that doesn't come by default when you install OpenShift, right? So we call it is as anything which does not come by default in OpenShift, we call it as user workload stuff or monitoring or metrics, right? So you'll be collect and store all cluster and container metrics here in the OpenShift Prometheus. Then you send it to user workload monitoring metrics collector. This also runs on OpenShift managed cluster. Basically, this is just a pod. And then this will be forwarding all those metrics to this observatorium. Basically, this is kind of a, database for your Red Hat ACM observability stack. So there, backed by Thanos, so there all the metrics will be sent here, right? Let's say if you have 10 cluster, 12 cluster, all metrics will be sent here, stored here, and it's a backend is S3 storage. So any S3 supported protocol API storage. So here all the metrics will be stored, and then in the Grafana dashboard, you'll be querying all the metrics. So basically related to your storage, NetApp storage metrics, right? So you may, by default, Grafana comes with multiple dashboards, right? But for storage, you need to create one dashboard, which will be walk you through how to create it, right? So there are some prerequisites. So before that, this is the flow Trident controller where it will scrap all the metrics. It will send to OpenShift Prometheus, then to Red Hat Advanced Cluster Manager, user workload metrics collector, and then to your hub of observatorium. So if you can see, it's split into two parts: OpenShift managed cluster and ACM hub cluster, right? Um, then you have a Grafana, and then in Grafana, you'll be seeing all the metrics right here. Uh, So this is a visualization dashboard, right? So some prerequisite which you have, Red Hat ACM observability enabled on the hub cluster, OCCLI access to both. And this is a Medium article. I'll just attach in the link, YouTube link itself, so that you can refer it, right? So the first thing, to enable or to collect the metrics from Trident, which is exposed by Trident CSI. So you have to enable user workload monitoring, right? So just copy this command. Uh, Maybe let me publish it so that I can copy it. Give me a minute. Okay. So now I'll be editing my cluster monitoring config in the OpenShift monitoring namespace. So I'll go here, and basically you just need to enable, add this one, enable user workload to true, right? So here I'll come here. Okay, it's edited, as you can see, right? Our changes are reflected here, and now I'll quit it, right? So this is how it looks like, enable user workload. This will make sure like you are able to, send your user workload monitoring metrics, right? Now there are a bunch of resources which you need to create it, which is like a service monitor, which will help you to, monitor your Trident metrics, Trident expose metrics endpoint, right? So Trident sm.yml, I'll put it here file, and then I'll just apply this, right? Yeah, Trident sm dot. Okay, now let's try again. Okay, so we have created our Trident service monitor, right? So basically this will make sure like our Trident is up, and if you want to see, basically if you want to see, right, whether it's exposed properly, you can do it here on this. So let's say you have this, you can go to Trident, observability in the metrics, and just copy this Trident build info and see if you are able to see the metrics or not on your managed cluster before moving to hub cluster, right? So this is just, it may take some time, but let's see whether we are able to get those metrics which we have exposed. Okay, so you can see, right, we have all the metrics here. Okay, so this is the metrics which are exposed by Trident. I already know, like, this is how it looks like. So another thing is like, although you have exposed metrics, but sending all the metrics which are exposed by Trident may make your, ACM Advanced Cluster Manager overwhelmed, right? With too many metrics, right? So there is something called as user workload monitoring checklist, right? Metric checklist, in which you need to say, okay, I need to allow only these metrics to be exposed or to be sent to ACM rather than sending all the metrics, right? So for this, we need to create this config map, which is, so let's say I'll just copy and paste it. Okay. So, okay. Somehow I think copy paste do not seems to work well, but we'll just fix it and put it here. Yeah. So now I'll be applying this user custom allow list. This will make sure like only these metrics are sent to your Red Hat ACM, Red Hat Advanced Cluster Manager Hub cluster for observability, so that you are not, overwhelming your observatorium database, right? So this is how it looks like. And once you send it, you need to restart your user workload metrics collector pod, just to make so that it is aware like, okay, there is some changes in the config map, a new config map created, because it doesn't watch openly, right? So you can do something, right? So grep uwl, let's try to see, and let's start this pod, right? So it will start the pod, and basically it will, refetch the config map, the newly custom allow list config map, right? And now the next thing is like deploying our dashboard. So for this, for showing the metrics in the Grafana, we need to create our own custom dashboard, right? So you can just download this dashboard, NetApp Trident. You can just copy it here. Okay, so it's here. And one thing I want to tell you, like this dashboard is provided by Trident itself, but its database is showing like Prometheus. But in OpenShift Red Hat Advanced Cluster Management, database name is Observatorium rather than Prometheus. So you need to edit this dashboard so that it only, instead of Prometheus, it should be Observatorium, right? So we just edited it, and then you need to create a config map. This config map is basically creating your own custom dashboard. So by default, in Red Hat Advanced Cluster Manager Observability, you have multiple dashboard. If I can show you, if you come here, so there are a bunch of dashboard which you can see, right? So these dashboard are mostly platform dashboard. They come by default. And let's say if you have a requirement to create your own custom dashboard based on your need, so for that you have to create this dashboard. So basically you have to create. So okay, so we are running it on the managed cluster. Basically we need to run this config map on the hub cluster, right? So uh, let's go there and create do it on the hub cluster. Okay, give me a minute. Okay, so let's come here, and this is our hub cluster. So basically, now we need to run this on your hub cluster, right? I mean, this one. That is like creating a dashboard in Grafana. So I am logged into my hub cluster, which is a Red Hat Advanced Cluster Manager cluster, and you just need to run this command, right? So you just need to run it, and then you need to label it. So here is the label. So this is a GitHub link also, which I'll paste it. So you can use GitHub link, as well as if you want to use, you can use uh, Medium as well, Medium article. So now you need to tell like, okay, Grafana, this is my custom dashboard. So this is the label which you need to attach to your config map, so that it can fetch your new dashboard, right? So just copy and paste it, and we'll first to verify, and then it may take some time to show it in our Grafana, right? Those metrics, so dashboard and metric fetch and all those stuffs. This may take some time, so let's see if we have the metrics available, or let's see. Yeah. Okay, so basically you can see, right, earlier there was nothing like custom. But the moment we created a dashboard, a new custom folder created, and inside that you'll have your Trident global data, right? Okay, so you can see, right, now the metrics are coming here, and we'll just put it here. And here you can see, right, all the metrics like Trident version, cluster names, number of nodes, snapshot, capacity, number of volumes. So all those things are now visible in your Grafana dashboard. Yeah. Thank you.